Welcome back to Creature Carnage, the channel where we drag the most terrifying tales and bizarre beasts out from the shadows and into the light. Today, we're saddling up and heading to the wild, untamed frontier of 19th century Arizona, where a blood-red beast roamed the desert, terrifying settlers and leaving a trail of mystery in its wake. This is the legend of the Red Ghost, a monstrous camel with a human skeleton strapped to its back. And it's no myth either. This is a true yet tragic story. Let's get into it. Our story begins in the late 1800s, deep in the heart of the Arizona frontier, a harsh, unforgiving landscape of jagged rocks, scorching sun, and miles of desolate nothingness. Settlers and prospectors were pushing west, trying to carve out a life in this rugged wilderness. But what they didn't expect was this. In 1883, near the Verde River, a group of settlers awoke to a nightmare. Early one morning, a woman ventured out to fetch water from the river, and she never came back. When her husband and neighbors found her, the scene was horrifying. Her body was trampled, the earth around her churned with massive cloven hoof prints. But no ordinary animal could have done this. Witnesses claim to have seen something impossible. A towering red-coated beast with a ghastly human skeleton clinging to its back. Word spread fast. This wasn't just an animal. This was a monster. Soon, more reports came flooding in. A prospector near Salt River claimed to see the creature charging through the desert at an unnatural speed, its rider's bones rattling in the wind. Ranchers said their cattle stampeded at the mere scent of the beast. Some even claimed the skeleton moved, as if it were alive. As the Red Ghost's legend spread, so did the fear. This wasn't just a rogue animal, it was something out of a nightmare. But here's where things get even weirder. Reports came from all over Arizona. Prescott, Tucson, the Gila River. Everywhere the Red Ghost went, chaos followed. One story tells of a group of miners who tried to shoot the beast, only for their bullets to glance off its thick hide. They swore the creature was invincible, or maybe already dead. Newspapers picked up the story, fueling the frenzy. The Arizona Silver Belt described a creature taller than any horse, with flaming red hair and a human skull tied to its back with leather straps. Soon, the Red Ghost wasn't just a tale told around campfires. It was a statewide sensation. But what was the Red Ghost? Was it really a supernatural terror, or was there something more explainable lurking behind the legend? Here's where history steps in. Back in the 1850s, the U.S. Army launched an experiment called the Camel Corps. Yep, you heard that right. The military thought camels, yes, the same kind from the Middle East and Africa, would be perfect for transporting supplies across the arid Southwest. They imported dozens of them, along with skilled camel handlers from the Ottoman Empire. But when the Civil War broke out, the project was abandoned. The camels, many were released into the wild. These camels, unfamiliar and terrifying to settlers who'd never seen anything like them, became the stuff of local lore. But that still doesn't explain the skeleton strapped to its back, right? Some believe the skeleton was a tragic accident. A camel handler might have fallen from his mount, becoming entangled in the gear, and the terrified animal bolted, dragging the body behind it for miles until only bones remained. Others think it was a cruel punishment, a deserter or outlaw tied to the beast as a warning, left to die under the blazing Arizona sun. But all legends must come to an end, and the Red Ghost was no exception. In the late 1890s, a rancher reportedly spotted the infamous creature munching on his vegetable patch. Not one to let a monster ruin his crops, he grabbed his rifle and shot the beast dead. When he approached, the truth was finally revealed. The Red Ghost was indeed a camel, its red fur stained by years under the harsh desert sun. But the most chilling detail? The human skeleton was still attached, the leather straps weathered and frayed, and the bones bleached white from decades in the sun. The red ghost was gone, but the legend had already taken root in Arizona's folklore, a reminder of the strange, wild days of the frontier. So, was the red ghost a true terror of the Arizona desert, or just a tragic remnant of a forgotten military experiment? The lines between fact and fiction blur in stories like this, and maybe that's the point. Even today, some locals claim to see strange shapes in the desert at dusk, and hear the faint clatter of bones carried on the wind. Maybe, somewhere out there, the red ghost still rides to this day.